Hello fellow RPG Maker enthusiasts. Today I'm going to show you a demo of a new helper application that's currently in development for use with RPG Maker MV. This application should give you some much needed functionality that will help you develop your games faster. It will also give you some additional functionality to provide integration with plugins and some features that will allow you to do parallax mapping and some additional tools to help in general game making. First, as a preface, I just need to say this is an open development project, so the demo I'm going to show you is not yet ready to even be alpha tested. We have the majority of the base code done, however we are working on user interface and some other upgrades that will make it more user friendly and more stable. So that being said, let's jump right into it. So first I'm going to show you a test example game of RPG Maker, and this is basically just an empty project. You'll see there's one map, and I'm going to show you the database that has 4 items in it. It has a shield for armors, it has a shield, a hat, a piece of cloth, and a ring. Now currently the database, we have all of the code to read and write to it, so that's great. So let me jump right in and open up the application. So this is the application. From the Tools menu, you can open up an RPG Maker project editor window. And from here, let's go ahead and load that example game. So I'll go into example game and I'll double click the project name. And what this does is it reads all of the data files, all the images, all the icons and everything, and brings it into this application. So as you can see, if I expand the items, it'll show you all of the items that are in the game. Now, first is a quick teaser. Some cool functionality that you can do with this is if you go to Tools, you can export all the armors. So let's just pick a temp directory, and let's just change this to export test, and go ahead and save it. And what that does right away is it creates an export of the items in the template that's needed to import it again later. So if I go ahead and open this export test, you'll see here's the 4 items from the database, and here's everything else. So go ahead and close that. Now I have here an import test in the same format, same Excel format, and I'm going to import 2 items. So these 2 items named test and test 2, it is going to be magic armor and 1 piece for a body and 1 piece for a head. So I'm going to go ahead and close this. I'm going to save it. And I'm going to go ahead and come in here and go into Tools. First, let me close the RPG Maker game too to make sure there's no conflicts with the files. So let me go ahead and go Tools, Import Armors, and I'm going to select Armors Import Test. And right away you'll notice at the bottom of the screen it says it requires a game save, because all it's doing at this point is importing it into the local tool. And if I expand armors now, you'll see that I have the 4 items plus the test and test 2. So what I can do now is go to File, save the game data, and this dialog appears that gives you some pretty hefty warnings, because we want to protect your game. So you have the option to back up the files from here, leave this, or update the game files. So check the items that you understand the risk, and go ahead and update the game files. And it's updated successfully. So now if we come back into and reopen this project, you're going to see the 2 new items that are in the database, and those were imported successfully. Great, that's awesome. Now we can import and work on all of our items in an Excel spreadsheet that gives us a much better way to visualize the data. So that's one new feature. So we're going to be launching this with the ability to import and export all of the items on the left side, focusing at first on skills, items, weapons, armors, enemies, troops, states, and system as well, because system has some basic stuff in here. So go ahead and close that again, come back into the tool. Some additional pretty neat features is the icon optimizer. So in addition to import and export, you can actually optimize your file. So by default, you might have a huge icon file that you use when developing, just to go ahead and get as many different variations as you can. But when you're ready to actually publish your game, it's best to kind of trim this all down. So rather than having to manually do that, this tool automatically reads from all of the skills, all of the states, weapons, armors, anything that uses an icon, and it'll tell you if it's being used. So you can see on the left hand side all of the current items being used. You can click on the actual icon list and it'll tell you what cell index that you're actually clicking on. So it goes from 0 to 15, and go ahead and click around. If you double click one, so we'll double click this crossbone, skull and crossbone, it'll automatically add it to the optimized icon set. And if you click this button, the add all used project icons, it will automatically add all of the icons that you're currently using in the game to a new spreadsheet. From there you can save and update the project, and we'll close that, and then you can do another game save which will then update the project itself. So if we come in here and save the game data, do this again, update the game files, it will actually come in here and it updated the new icon file to be only the optimized icons. If we preview that, you'll see that now it's only the updated icons. So that gives you a really neat way to kind of optimize some of your things. And we're going to additionally have some new features that will optimize a bunch of other things within this as well to kind of trim it down. In addition to that, some of the neat things that we're working on is with the plugins that people are developing. And there's a lot of really good plugin developers. And I'll give a quick shout out to Yanfly, to Heimworks, to Gav, and some other of the really good, I'm leaving out a bunch of them, but a lot of really good plugin developers that are really creating and expanding this capabilities of this game. Support them. Go and give your attention to them. Make sure that they're keep motivated to keep creating these awesome plugins. So what we're going to do here is integrate into the editor and into the capabilities of this to configure that right into the plugin. So you'll no longer have to memorize all of the different note tags or plugin commands. It'll be built right into the editor. So for example, for items, we have a new interface that we're developing, and we'll automatically have a plugin configuration for it. So you'll have a drop down, select the plugin, it'll automatically integrate all of the current plugin capabilities. In addition, it will automatically go out and check for new plugins, and hopefully we'll be able to release a server version that will synchronize and have a auto update feature for everyone to kind of tie into and use and update. So we have a lot of plans. Obviously there's a lot of work to be done still, but these are some of the features that are coming out that we're going to kind of push towards. In addition to the project management, we are releasing a couple other nice little tools to have. So for example, ripping an image into slices. So if you wanted to, let's say, create a large map with different layers, there's plugins out there that can do that. One of the tricky spots is if you create a very large image, you don't necessarily want that large image on one map. You might need to break it up into smaller chunks for optimization and performance in some of these devices. Well, one way to do that is to take a large image and slice it up into many images and create many maps off of it. Well, that's exactly what this tool will do. So you can then set your slice width, your slice height, what folder name you want to save these two output directories, fitting rules, and it'll automatically generate all of your necessary slices. In addition, you can work backwards, so you can have many slices and move them into a single image. So for example, if you're using the character generator, you can copy all the slices from a character and move them into one single image for optimization, so there's not as many images being loaded. In addition to that, there's some settings that you can configure how it works, left to right slices, fitting images to window, whatnot. So this is another tool that we're developing that will allow you to really build upon what MV gives you in functionality. By no means are we trying to replace the MV editor. We're not going to have a way to draw maps and a way to do all that or play the game. this RPG Maker MV is going to be absolutely needed in order to continue to create your games and publish them. This is really just a tool to make your life easier as a developer and a game maker, to give you some really good options with plugin configuration and integration, and to really just help you make it easier on you. So thanks for watching. If you have any questions, any suggestions for tools, um, please visit the websites below. We have a Patreon page. We have our website that'll be going up shortly, or you can just feel free to contact me directly. My email address, I'll put it up on the screen real quick. mark@nebulagames.net. So feel free to email me directly, and I'll get back to you guys as soon as I can. Thanks.